In the meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has reached a deal with Canada and Mexico to remove tariffs on steel and aluminium imports from the two countries. His statement came moments after Canada released the text of the agreement between Ottawa and Washington. The deal eliminates tariffs within 48 hours of the agreement. This agreement has been made in exchange for the new curbs to keep waste metals from China and other countries out of the U.S. A monitoring system will be set up for this now. The deal also lifts Canada's retaliatory tariffs on some $12 billion of U.S. products, including pork, beef and bourbon.
Pleased to announce that we've just reached an agreement with Canada and Mexico, and we'll be selling our product into those countries without the imposition of tariffs or major tariffs.
Last year, U.S. had imposed 25% of steel and 10% of aluminium. These tariffs created a hurdle in ratifying a new North American trade pact. The tariffs on the metals were in place even after three countries agreed on a revised free trade deal or the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. And due to these tariffs, Canada and Mexico refused to sign that deal. The U.S. Congress had also refused to approve the deal. The lifting of tariffs now, in fact, is paving the way for the replacement of the 25-year-old North American Free Trade Agreement. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has said that Canada will now work towards the timing of ratification of the deal.
Obviously, these continued tariffs on steel and aluminum and our countermeasures represented significant barriers to moving forward with the new NAFTA agreement. Now that we've had a full lift on these tariffs, we are going to work with the United States on timing for ratification, but we're very optimistic we're going to be able to move forward well in the coming weeks.
The UN chief Antonio Guterres has raised concerns over a quote-unquote nuclear coffin in the Pacific atoll of Marshall Islands. Guterres said that there are fears of radioactive leak from a concrete dome built to contain waste from nuclear bomb test. Guterres, who is on a trip to Fiji to raise awareness about climate change, said that the storage might be leaking nuclear waste into the ocean. He said, and I quote here, "I've just been with the president of the Marshall Islands, who is very worried because there is a risk of leaking of radioactive materials that are contained in a kind of coffin in the area," unquote. So what is this nuclear waste storage that has alarmed the UN? The Marshall Islands is an archipelago located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It was used by U.S. as nuclear weapons test facility from 1946 to 1958. In fact, 67 American atomic tests were carried out here. Now, most notable among them was the 1954 test of the hydrogen bomb. The weapon was 10 times stronger than the atom bomb dropped in Hiroshima. The atoll was under U.S. administration till 1979. Now, what is the nuclear coffin that has set our alarm bells ringing? Well, the so-called coffin is a concrete dome built in the late 1970s on the Enewetak atoll. The island was used as a dumping ground for waste from a nuclear test. Radioactive waste was dumped into a crater that was later covered with a concrete dome. However, it was only built as a temporary storage facility with basic foundation work. It is very likely that radioactive materials are leaking into the Pacific through cracks that have developed in the concrete. There are also fears that the concrete dome will collapse if hit by a cyclone. Despite raising concerns, the UN chief did not specify ways to tackle the nuclear waste issue.